Hello fellow Captain, this is Captain Collins. Welcome back to another episode of X4 Guides. Today we want to talk about how to supply one of your station with another station of your own. I know some of you guys have trouble supplying your own stations with your own wares, and this is why I want to do this video. By the way, there is still hair, but the Admiral said there are two ways you can have your hair, short or long, and this is the long version. Quick introduction to myself before we start. I'm Captain Collins. I'm a Twitch streamer and YouTube content creator. I stream from Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. Central European time, and we play shooter strategy and simulation games. If you like these guides and maybe you have seen a few but you're not a subscriber, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss anything in the future. So to show you how to supply your stations, let's jump into the game. So here we are. That's, by the way, a Xenon K. We defeated that one 1v1, but that's something for another video. So from here on, we will go to the map. We see we have two stations running, one in Second Contact 2, which is a graphene factory, and one in Argon Prime, which is a hull part factory. And we want to have the graphene at the hull part factory where we need it to build hull parts. As you can see, I already assigned a few ships there, some mineral miners and some traders. If you don't know how to assign ships on your station, click on that information on the top right, how to assign ships to your stations. I have a system on assigning ships to stations, which is my alpha group is always traders, my beta group are always miners. As you can see, the graphene station has got no traders there. There is no alpha group. Why is that? That's one thing we want to talk about. So let's start with the graphene station and go there into the logical overview and talk about that first. So what we got there is a energy cell production, and we have a graphene production on there. We're producing energy cells and we get the methane from our miners. I put the energy cells on a sell offer because I just want to make a little extra buck there. I don't need that much energy cells. I just saw at the graphene that I need 2,400 energy cells per hour to let that run. So I multiplied that by 30, and this is 72,000, and that's my automatic cell amount. You set that by clicking on that automatic cell amount, which is normally enabled. You want to disable it, and you want to just write down 72,000. You can also adjust the sliders. The green one at the bottom is the one for selling. There's another one, a orange one on top, which is buying, but we'll come to that later. Actually, we will come to that right now because we're buying methane. And this is the first thing which will decide that you just get that supply from your own mineral miners. The thing is, you don't want to have automatic buy amount, so you disable that. Put that slider on buying amount completely to the right. Then you do not use the station settings because we're here at the beta 3.2, we can have trade rules. And these trade rules are very, very important for this method of resupplying. If you don't know what trade rules are, there's the next video on top right corner, which will tell you how trade rules work. If you have not seen that before, pause that video, go over, look at how trade rules work, come back. And you don't want to use the global setting. You want to have a station rule. So you disable it and you make restrictions to only my property may trade. This will allow only your own faction, which is here, by the way, Space Operations Delta. That's we are. This will enable that just your miners will sell that stuff to this station, and that your station is just buying from your miners. This is really important. Okay, now we are selling energy cells that we don't need, and we're just buying methane from our own miners. The next thing, graphene. We produce graphene on this station, and we want to sell that to everyone because we don't need that much graphene on just one other station. This will maybe not apply to your system, so maybe you want to have that set to restrict just only my property. If you have the demand for all of this graphene or whatever it is, then you can set this to just sell your own traders. And also, I have not an automatic sell amount. I have the amount set to 1. That means that it will sell everything down to a single piece which will be left. So there we go. We set up the graphene factory so it works the way we want it, the way we need it. And one more thing to mention, this is on automatic pricing because it will sell to every other faction. Keep that in mind for the next step which will come. So the graphene station is ready, or whatever station you are using to supply your other stations is ready. And now we're going to the hull part factory. And as you can see, the hull part factory is that factory that has traders assigned, which are deploying that factory or selling goods. And here we also go into the logical overview. So again, we're going from left to the right, and we're starting with energy cells. Energy cells are produced on that station. I would suggest that you build an energy cell production on every single station because you need energy cells everywhere. Be sure to sell that amount that you know that you don't need. That will give you an extra buck. Before we come to the graphene, let me just talk a little bit about the ore. We do the same as we did with the methane here with ore. So you want to have the buy offer, not automatically. You want to have it all the way to the right. You want to have the station settings disabled and just allow your own faction to trade with you. If maybe you have a high demand and you really need more than just what your miners are doing, then you can also just enable this station setting with no restriction, and everyone can sell their stuff to your station. Maybe you want it. I don't know. And now comes the crucial part. We made everything right at the graphene station, and now we have the graphene which we'll need here. This we're doing by buy offer, making that the highest amount again so that it is bought until our storage is full. But you really want to disable the automatic pricing. As you saw, we have an automatic pricing at the graphene station. If you have on your graphene station a higher price than the buy offer on your station, which will need to be supplied, then your manager will not buy anything from that other station. So just disable automatic pricing, set it a little bit up. It doesn't matter because it's just being transferred in between your own stations. But you want to be sure that your manager will always buy whenever he needs it from your station. And the next big thing, of course, is also setting a trade rule here. So disable this part, make that only my property may trade, so that just your own traders can get this stuff. The traders from that hull part factory will fly to the graphene factory and get the graphene there to supply your hull part factory. Let me be clear on this one. I tried it also the other way around. Try to sell my graphene to just my property, but it didn't work. The traders of the graphene station did nothing. The graphene was empty on this station, and the traders of the graphene station did nothing to resupply that station. They stood there and they were waiting for orders. This way it works. Your traders will go to your station. They will buy the stuff they need and they will bring it back to the station that needs to be supplied. And from here on, it's just selling stuff. I did refined metals in here. I put a sell offer there because, you know, the extra buck, because I don't use that much refined metals for my hull parts. And the next thing is I put a sell offer also for hull parts. I made sure that my refined metals are at 22,400, which is 10 hours of resources that I need to build hull parts. That way I ensure that the station will not run dry. And the hull parts, that's the last thing you want to sell. So just go with it and sell everything. Make automatic pricing, no restriction. You're good to go. And that's it. Your station is supplied. That's how easy it is. It is just a matter of thinking the right way in X4. I sit there and tried it out for 2 hours and it did not work until finally it hit me that you need to buy that stuff from your station. And this way you will see that it works. You can then come in and thank me later. Thank you so much for seeing that video. I'm Captain Collins. It's Space Operations Delta. See you in the next video. Bye bye. See ya.